The Kraken. Large mythical creature said to haunt open waters, the Kraken got its start in Scandinavian folklore. At a time when the oceans were largely unexplored, King Sverre of Norway penned the earliest known story about the Kraken in 1180. Anybody who ventured out to sea was afraid of the Kraken because it was rumored to hunt ships, the larger the better. Nobody was certain of what they were dealing with or what kind of creature the Kraken might be because of its unusual appearance. All they knew was that it was enormous, had 8 legs, and displayed zero fear of people. Indeed, it appeared that humans were among the Kraken's favorite foods. Furthermore, the creature would swim around the ship quickly enough to cause a maelstrom, which would drag the ship to the ocean's bottom, if it was unable to bring the ship down with its own legs. As of right now, we are aware that the Kraken is only a myth. However, given the volume of reports and assertions from various nations, there had to be something in the water that was unsettling people. Was it a recently discovered sea creature, or was it, in fact, a massive monster that devoured humans? The real Kraken? The Kraken's legend, like many other mythological animals, would have originated from reports of actual animal sightings. In this instance, the elusive giant squid is thought to be a likely contender for the role behind the Kraken/sea monster tales. The giant squid, also known as Architeuthis, was first seen in the wild in 2004. It can reach a length of 13 meters and a weight of 900 kilograms, although it usually weighs less than 455 kilograms. Giant squids can be found all over the world along continental and island slopes, which is their habitat. Although the precise depth of their ideal habitat is unknown, it is thought to be between 300 and 1,000 meters below the surface of the ocean. They are solitary creatures. As a result, giant squid are extremely uncommon to encounter by humans unless they are ill or near death. For this reason, the majority of the gigantic squid pictures you see online feature carcasses. Due to their location in exceptionally deep oceanic regions, Newfoundland, Norway, and the British Isles are home to the majority of accidentally captured giant squid specimens by fishermen. The giant squid has 8 arms, just like other squid, and 2 longer tentacles to help with feeding. The mantle, also known as the head, has 2 fins to help with movement and is shaped like a spade. Giant squid have 1 eye in the front and 1 in the back, allowing them to keep an eye out for potential predators, primarily sperm whales, as well as their next meal. In contrast, colossal squid have 2 eyes on the front of their head. Their eyes, which have a terrifying 10-inch diameter, are among the biggest in the animal kingdom. The dinner plate you will be using tonight is roughly the same size, just for comparison. Like regular squid, giant squids have suckers encircled by a ring of razor blades and a beak. The deep-sea gigantism phenomenon is the reason why sea creatures can grow to such enormous sizes. Deep-sea gigantism can be caused by a variety of factors, such as colder temperatures, a lack of food, the need to go longer periods of time without eating, decreased predation pressure, and higher dissolved oxygen. These creatures inhabit the 4,000 to 6,000 meter deep ocean's abyssal zone, which is typically inaccessible. This explains why some marine animals, like squids, grow larger the lower they live in the ocean. Big red jellyfish, up to 30 inches in diameter, giant oarfish, up to 8 meters in length, deepwater stingrays, up to 2.7 meters in length and 1.5 meters in width, and Japanese spider crabs, up to 3.7 meters in length, are additional creatures that exhibit deep-sea gigantism. Approximately 60% of our planet's surface and 83% of the ocean are covered by this completely dark region. It kind of begs the question, what else is down there? Sadly, scientists don't know nearly as much as they would like to about giant squids due to their deepwater habitat. Similarly, studying deep-sea gigantism in general is extremely challenging due to the animal's habitats being so far below the surface. Because of its inaccessibility, terrifying photos, and extremely rare sightings, the giant squid's mysterious nature is just as unsettling as that of the legendary Kraken. The more gaps in our knowledge about giant squids that exist, the more our minds fill them in. But are they really the mythical monsters that hunt humans and sink ships? Are giant squid a threat to humans? Rare video of a gigantic squid from the January 27, 2013, episode of Monster Squid on the Discovery Channel. Were the sailors of old to fear the Kraken for a good reason? Has the legend damaged the image of giant squids the way Jaws wrongly portrayed sharks as evil? The giant squid is a carnivorous animal that eats fish and other squid. Yes, our many-legged friends can eat humans. That being said, if you happen to wander into its deepwater territory, one might still pursue you. Furthermore, you wouldn't want to go the route they would take to kill you. The likelihood of seeing a giant squid attack you in the first place is very low, as they hunt from below. Therefore, you shouldn't be concerned about outwitting it because, more often than not, you won't recognize its approach until it's much too late. After that, you'll be hauled down into the ocean's darkness so the enormous squid can savor his meal in peace and safety without having to worry about being attacked by another predator, more especially, his greatest foe, the sperm whale. By now, the pressure change has probably ruptured your eardrums, and the tentacle's pressure has probably broken your bones. With his beak, the enormous squid will now start its feast, tearing you to pieces and using his radula, which is essentially a tongue covered in sharp teeth, to chop you into even smaller pieces. Why are people not afraid to go in the ocean? Why are there no giant squid warnings on beaches? Why did Jaws have to be a shark instead of a giant squid? The movie would be called Beak, which is less scary. The consoling truth is that humans hardly ever come across giant squid because they live so far below the surface. It is highly unlikely that you will come across a giant squid while on vacation in Cornwall. On the other hand, some scientists predict that as water temperatures rise as a result of climate change, giant squid sightings will increase. Therefore, although you shouldn't be concerned about a giant squid attack right now, it might become a minor problem in the near future. Are giant squids a threat to boats? However, what about vessels, such as submarines reminiscent of Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Though no squid of any kind has ever been known to successfully topple a watercraft, it doesn't mean they haven't given it their best shot. Here are a few noteworthy instances. The French Navy corvette Electon was the target of the first ever giant squid attack on a sea vessel, which happened in November 1861. Under Captain Frédéric Boyer's command, the Electon was traveling to Cayenne from Tenerife when a gigantic squid was spotted in the nearby water. In those days, there was some disagreement regarding the existence of giant squid, so the captain gave the crew the order to catch it. The crew in this instance fired before the squid had an opportunity to attack the ship. The men, unfazed by gunfire, tried to lasso a rope around the squid's body, but it was too heavy to pull aboard. A section of the squid broke off during the confusion and was taken to a museum for examination. American invertebrate zoologist A.E. Variel confirmed that it was a sample from a giant squid. Jules Verne was inspired by this experience to write 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was released in 1870, 9 years later. The Brunswick, a tanker in the Royal Norwegian Navy, survived 3 different attacks by hostile giant squid in the 1930s. Despite their best efforts, the squid were unable to damage the ship because it weighed 15,000 tons. The ship's propellers killed the squid, but the sailors escaped unscathed. The reason the squid considered the Brunswick as a necessary target despite these attacks is unknown, but some scientists theorize that the squid just mistook boats for predators and went on the defensive. The world's most ironic giant squid attack on a boat happened in 2003 during the Jules Verne Trophy race. Shortly after departing Brittany, France, Olivier de Kersauson's competing yacht came under attack. Kersauson claimed to have seen a tentacle through a porthole. It was pulling the boat pretty hard and was thicker than his leg. The enormous squid had become attached to the yacht's hull and only released its grip when Kersauson stopped the boat, at which point it most likely became disinterested and moved on. A much smaller scale video of a juvenile giant squid hitching a ride with a South African paddleboarder went viral more recently, in 2017. Some viewers thought James Taylor was receiving a friendly greeting from the enormous squid by wrapping its many legs around the paddleboard in the video. The enormous squid wasn't playing or attacking the paddleboard, as the full video revealed. Instead, it was extremely ill. In reality, Taylor realized the squid was dying and tried to bring it to the coast so that the corpse could be preserved for scientific study. There are many more stories of enormous squids attacking boats, but none of them compare to the intensity of rumored Kraken encounters. While giant squid have been known to attack boats on occasion, this is most likely the result of misidentification rather than the squid looking for a tasty meal snack. Either way, it makes sense that reports of seeing enormous squid gave rise to a legend. Squids are truly terrifying because of their many legs, sharp teeth, strangely shaped heads, and enormous eyes. If someone had encountered a squid attacking their boat hundreds of years ago, they would undoubtedly believe it to be a sea monster. The Kraken in popular culture. Monsters are popular among people, and writers and filmmakers have long had a special fondness for the Kraken. The poem The Kraken by Alfred Tennyson, published in 1830, had an impact on H.P. Lovecraft's The Call of Cthulhu, which describes the waking of a monstrous creature that had been dozing on the ocean floor for all eternity. Additionally, the Kraken appears in Victor Hugo's Toilers of the Sea, 1866, and Herman Melville's Moby Dick, 1851. Additionally, readers of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings will recognize the Watcher in the water, who is remarkably similar to the legendary Kraken and guards the gate to Moria. More recent examples include the Sigil of House Greyjoy and George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, Michael Crichton's 2009 novel Pirate Latitudes, and the Serene Krakens in Owen Colfer's Artemis Fowl, The Time Paradox, 2008. Among the many role-playing games with Krakens are World of Warcraft, Magic, The Gathering, and Dungeons & Dragons. The mythological creature is even the name of a roller coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. And who could overlook this iconic scene from the 2006 film Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest? Who could blame us? Our world is obsessed with Krakens. It's even more fascinating because our eight-legged antagonist actually exists in the real world in some capacity. Who knows what might be hiding in our ocean's darkest recesses? Similar to Cthulhu, the Kraken might be content in its sleep and will soon rise to wreak havoc on ships once more.